Hey guys, Dale here from Organic Pros. So, first episode of Truth Awakening, and as promised, we're going to go into the topic of truth. So, the huge topic of truth, where do you even start with this? Well, I think the first thing to say is, there's so many different layers of truth that are in our physical reality. And I certainly don't want to go into all of those right now, because we'd have to break all of those down and try and explain all of those and how they operate in this physical reality. So, but all of them have a profound effect on everything that happens, whether that's just in with our life or the nature, or going beyond that, the level of planets and the universe. It might sound so cosmic to say something like that, but I guess in time we will explain in deeper about those types of truth. But today I want to just stick with one truth that is most relevant to us in our life and how that can have a massive effect of what we actually experience. So the first truth that I'm talking about is inner truth, our inner truth. So what the hell is that? You're probably thinking. Well, I'm going to give an example of an inner truth in a moment. But before I do that, again, I just want to say that these inner truths shape our whole world. They shape our paradigms, they shape our experiences, they shape how much joy we have, how much peace, how much fulfillment and everything. So it's that extremely important that we get this stuff in order. And as humans, we are absolute masters at deception and convincing ourselves that we're living otherwise. We'll make all sorts of stories up that are actually false in their nature, and we'll use any methods necessary to get validation, and we will use materialistic and outside stimulus to give us a sense of high and joy in life, but again it won't quench that thirst of fulfillment, and we'll always be back to where we were before, if not even worse off than where we were before. So I wanted to just say that before we go into actually what our inner truth could be and how we can actually get to that, or even more so, what would happen in our life if we're not living from that place of truth. So an example I'm going to give, a very simple example I came up with, is imagine when you're as a kid and you had this dream of being a poet, and you might get laughed at for that. Maybe people laughed at you and said you'll never be a poet, you'll never make any money from that, that's ridiculous, or you're no good at it. But in your heart, that's what you really wanted to be, that's what you really felt you were, that's what excited you, that's what made you channel something that you felt was just something you can't explain, but it was something that made you feel really good. But due to social environmental conditionings and pressures, maybe even your parents said don't even think about that, you can't make any money, you buried that truth deep inside you, and there it stayed deep in you. And then you started building a life on top of that. Everything you did from that point on was now untruthful, because you weren't living your truth. But you, at that point, you probably just accepted it and just thought, well, this is the way of the world, we don't need to live our dreams, that's just a fantasy. But you started building a life on top of that. You started doing things that you didn't really want to do. You started having a job and a career that you didn't really want to do, that your heart wasn't in, but you did it because you were told to do it. That's what you have to do, that's where you get money, that's how we survive, that's how we build a life, that's how we have a family. And there was more layers of untruthful things, more deception, more just getting lost of what that is. And then the people that we would associate with those things, they're also a reflection of living that untruthful life. Probably not the people you really wanted to be with. You probably wanted to be in circles of poets and stuff like that, sharing your poetry, but now you're having to deal with stuff in a office and stuff like that. So Anyway, the point is, all of these things, you start living a life that's not exciting, it's really not giving you that sense of feeling alive and fulfilled. So it's quite simple. How do we get out of that cycle? Well, the only possible way to get out of that cycle is to go right back to the beginning and unearth that truth, whatever that truth is for you. It might be a poet, it might be a truth that you've buried, that you felt guilty about something and you just didn't want to deal with it, but you've built everything on top of that. Could be anything, but most of us will know exactly what that is. We just got to dig and find it. So my message here is, if you're really yearning to live a life of truth and you really know that you're not, then start to really go inside, look back inside yourself and try and find out what this is, and then start living a life from that. And from that point onwards, you don't need to work anything out. Life will give you all of the hows from that point onwards, because life really wants us to support our life of truth. That's what this is all about. So I really urge you to go and find that life, and you know, until you do, we won't get out of that cycle. So anyway, that's the first episode of Truth. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it helpful. Feel free to make any comments, any questions, any feedback, any thoughts, any feelings on that. And also, with every episode, I'm going to be writing an e-book. We've got 20 different subjects to go through with this, so there's a lot to get through, and by the end of it we'll have an e-book ready for you, if you want to read each subject again. So don't forget to follow us on Organic Prose on Instagram, so you don't miss the next video. I'm going to try and do one a week, and the next episode is going to be about spirituality. So super looking forward to sharing what that is and what spirituality is and what that may mean to us in our life. So anyway guys, hope you're staying safe out there, and you know, not living in fear, as we are all battling against that at different points. And I'll see you soon.